I'm just going to close that garage door to reduce the glare. Good morning, everybody. Happy Easter. Today is April 12th, 2020. I'm broadcasting from Youngsville, North Carolina. And normally on Easter Sunday after Mass, we usually have a karate get-together. But because we have to wait for our scientists to tell us we can do that again, we're using these forms of modern technology. So with that, it's customary for us to bow into Sensei and pay homage to our founder, and of course all of the senseis who have taken the time to teach us Isshinryu Today. So, Yosuke, Shubu Butasu Sensei, great. And, it's always good to reflect on your journey in martial arts when you take the time to really look at what you've tried to accomplish over the time you've been on your journey. Certain things come to mind. Here we have our student manual for 2020, and this is our way of not only tracking our progress, but to document your journey and write things down and read things. And it opens up with a greeting. And the first things that we talk about are our empty hand katas. The Seisan, Seiyuchin, Nahanchi, Wansu, Shinto, Kusanku, Sun Tzu, and Sanchin. Those, we'll call them katas, empty hand katas, which are the volumes of, how we go about using waza. Each one of these has specific waza that you can study the bunkai of each kata. When you're lucky enough to be granted permission by Sensei to do the Kobujitsu of our curriculum, you're introduced to weapons now, and you learn how to use weapons and the waza that is applied in those weapons katas. One of the first things that we start with in Isshinryu Karate are the basics, the basic architecture of how you are to use the stances, the terminology, learning the angles of attack, how you're disciplined to, deploy the stances is the whole thing. If you learn how to tie these stances together when you're attacked, no one can guarantee success, but you have a great advantage because you've been skilled in starting in one stance and transitioning to another stance when you're attacked, and using the stances to your benefit, such as in Seisan Kata, Seiyuchin Kata, transitioning from a Seisan stance into a Seiyuchin stance puts your opponent, based on the waza that you're using, at a tremendous disadvantage. So that space, they talk about the space when you build these stances. The Seisan Dachi is a basic front stance with 1 foot in front and 1 foot behind. you know, we're taught to maybe try to capture that leg. When you come at us, we try to go inside your center, capture that leg while we're doing our business up here, and hopefully then when we do transition into the Seiyuchin Dachi, that you've been compromised. That's what the whole thing is about. Our sensei always talked about uh, him being able to hit us when we transition in these stances. For instance, if you were, you know, working in a Seisan frontal stance as he was moving around you, and when he came, you transitioned to a Seiyuchin stance, he would try to hit you when you picked your foot up and moved it. So he's very astute in trying to break your defense, if you will. And that's really accomplished when you're rushed. When somebody rushes you, what you do with your feet is essential because if you come out of balance, then when you're rushed and you get compromised, now you have to recover to get to balance, and that was a big no-no. So we were looking at some of these um, wonderful things that we got from the senseis, such as Sloan Sensei in Okinawa. At the time, he was actually in Korea when he sent these to me. But he has broken down in his student manual all of the correct kumite when it comes to the empty hand and when it comes to the kobujitsu. He has it all written down for us, step by step, with both the English and the Okinawan translation. So you can read it in English and try to learn how to say it in Okinawan. So it's a great practice. And then when you work with a partner and you work some of these things back and forth, you learn that the weapon has a response when you hit something with it. Same thing with the empty hand. The weight of my hand has a response to it. So when you start to apply these, I'll call them mechanisms, things that you use to steady. When you come down with the bow and two bows hit together, sometimes it may slide, sometimes it may careen off the other bow. There's so many things that can happen. So those minute adjustments that you make when you're doing these charts that Sloan Sensei broke down for us, so that we can understand them. They were always here, but Sloan Sensei put them in such a way that um, again, it's in English, so you can, follow it word by word and do the exercise. And then again, when you're practicing with somebody, they've got their um, strikes and blocks memorized. You've got your strikes and blocks memorized, and now you start to interchange with the weapons and with the empty hands. And it's a wonderful practice. It really is. So, Sloan Sensei allowed me to uh, put those in the manual, and we did because it's a great tool. Um, always starting off in the class, Sensei always wanted us to understand that where we come from, the knowledge that was passed on to us um, reflects on the knowledge that we pass on to others. So people like Harold Long, um, Don Nagel, Steve Armstrong, Harold Mitchum, Arsenio Adwincula, um, those Americans took the system and uh, they documented it, they practiced it, they taught it. Um, they actually lived the whole essence of what you do here in martial arts. Um, Learning the customs, learning the curriculum, teaching the customs, always being up to date on what the senseis are doing out there because they're forever working. The senseis are always, especially now, where they're documenting their katas, their kumite, their ippon kumite, all the bunkai. There's so many senseis out there now contributing to these encyclopedias and adding their understanding, their practice, their work. Let's face it, when you work with somebody else, um, it's a great practice because it's live. It's a live exchange of, you know, what these people that I just mentioned brought home with them. And it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful way to be able to practice something and be proud of what you're practicing because um, some of these men and women built this system in a way that is attractive to youngsters, um, uh, young adults, even the elderly, like me. I'm the elderly now. Um, Team Kata. That's another thing that's in our manual here. When you learn an empty hand kata and you come to the dojo, we have a time for you to come up in front of the class and do your kata individually. And then we'll have, depending on your rank and how proficient you are at that particular kata, we'll call up, let's say, 4 or 5 other students, and you'll all do the kata synchronized. Where everybody is doing Seisan kata, and you hear that snap and the focus and the kicks and the blocks and all the stuff. Um, so team kata is something that we really spend a lot of time on. We feel that the knowledge of you learning the kata, number one, is most difficult. Um, but if you're persistent at it, you'll get it. And then once you do that, when you work with your teammates, it's inspiring to hear what's going on with the stepping and the breathing and the waza, and when that's all brought together, not only by you, an individual, but by the spirits all brought together now of all those individuals, 4 or 5 people, maybe more. Um, Again, it's something that we really would love to see more and more of in dojos around the world. Team Kata is um, a wonderful way to practice. Very good for situational awareness. Learning what's happening in back of you, learning what's happening in front of you, learning what's happening to the side, and of course the angles. Upper body basics. Everything starts with learning how to build a fist, learning how to build a proper stance that you're comfortable in, learning how to identify those stances, use those stances to build your waza on, because the waza gets built on a specific stance that you're using. So when you transition that stance and bring that waza to its fruition through the stance transition, the karate becomes, a full science now. You're learning how to use all your tools, and you're learning how to deploy those tools in a way that not that there's any magic involved in it, but the rate of success goes up because you've really, broken these things down through the basics, learning a good punch, learning a good kick, learning how to um, do damage to what we do call a block. Now remember, humans have to identify things, so we say block. But really, a block in Isshinryu Karate is a real devastating strike or break. If you throw a punch, if you throw a kick, if you do something to try to come into my circle, it's our training to obliterate that. Use your aggression to your disadvantage because now you've put it out there. So if I can catch it, grab it, secure it, and break it, hand or foot, um, the katas teach us that. But again, before you can learn the katas, you have to learn these upper body basics. You have to learn the lower body basics because in the basics is how Shimabuku Tatsuro Sensei wanted the karateka to deploy the technique. There's certain differences. Excuse me. There's certain enhancements that Shimabuku Tatsuro Sensei made in the way a punch is deployed, in the way a kick is deployed. We have thrust kicks, we have snap kicks, we have all the kicks, okay? But it's the way he watch his videos and watch the way he throws the kick and puts it back. Watch the way he does his stepping. Watch the way he transitions from um, stance to stance. In the way he changes direction. Especially watch Jinto because when he does the big turn, uh, watch his body posture. Watch the position of his knee when he's coming through the turn. Um, all has meaning, all right? But again, in the upper body basics, we're taught to develop the Isshinryu skills now, develop the architecture in which Isshinryu was built on, so that when you get to the katas now, doing a punch, doing a block, doing a specific piece of waza, you've got the basics of how that's supposed to work in you already because you've learned chart one and chart two. So um, they tell us that what Isshinryu Karate is in the charts. If you learn the charts the way Shimabuku Tatsuro Sensei wanted them um, to be done, okay? And then you watch other martial artists from, let's say, Goju or Shorinru or any of the other Okinawan martial arts, karate. A dead giveaway is we put our thumb on top, first of all. So, instead of making a fist like this with our thumb this way, we put our thumb here. So one of the things that you'll notice right away when you make an Isshinryu fist is that the thumb is on top. So when you go to a event, if you really watch, if you really go out there and you watch the rings, even if they're not wearing any patches, you can tell an Isshinryu practitioner because they put their thumb on top. Which this knuckle is nasty. Nasty. You use this knuckle for strikes, oh boy. It fits in spots that are just perfect. So the upper body basics and the lower body basics, learning what the upper body does and learning what the lower body does. Um, when you put the zones now of the human body together, high, mid, low, the upper body basics and the lower body basics are designed to teach you how to attack upper body, middle body, and lower body. So in that, when you learn, based on the lineage that you come from, when you learn the application and the bunkai of the upper body basics and the lower body basics. When you get to the katas now, you're not a stranger in a strange land where you have no idea, no compass, no nothing. No, now you've been equipped with a compass, a hunting tool, maybe a way to start a fire. Okay, you have some tools to go in the woods with. All right. Upper body basics and lower body basics are part of every single class at Edward Grad School of Mission. My sensei never taught a class ever. In all the classes I've ever gone to with Sensei McGrath, ever taught a class without doing basics. He said if you skip the basics, you're skipping the essence of Isshinryu Karate. The basics are what you are taught to learn to do the kata, to do the fighting, to do the ippons, to do the jukumite, to do the randori. That's what this is. So don't ever mistake going into a karate class and think that we don't have to do basics. I'm a black belt. Never. Don't ever have that approach. If anything, somebody suggests, well, let's do kata. Okay, we'll do kata in about an hour and a half. Let's bang out our basics first. That was Sensei McGrath. No problem. We'll work on anything you want. Got a whole book here. Work on anything you want. Let's do our basics first. Let's bang out the kicks. Let's bang out the upper body basics. Let's get done. If you're in for a good workout, you do 10 and 10 aside, which is normal. But if you're in for a good workout, you do 25 and 25 aside. Now on chart 1, the original chart has 15 exercises on it. We added 1. We have 16, which I'll go through. I'll talk about the upper body basics because we added 1. The reason why we do 16 is because we added 1 to Sensei Nagel. So if you do 25 and 25 aside, when you're done with that, you're sweating. Okay, you just got a workout for about an hour, hour and a half that, is not for the weak-hearted. It takes a lot of air to pump through your body to do 25 and 25 aside. And then there's 2 basics where you got to throw 5 punches. Each one of the basic exercises, you have to throw 5 punches. So, and they're back to back. So when you're doing 25 and 25 aside, you're getting a great workout, okay? With the kicks, Sensei believed that if somebody attacks you, going to try to punch you in the face up here, not only do you have to evade and protect, you don't want to get punched in the face. But if that ever happens to you and somebody just charges you and goes to punch you in the face, it was Sensei's belief that, of course, evade and protect. Don't let them hit you. But if they're going at your high section, attack their low section. Take out their legs. So while you're evading and protecting from this, whatever they're doing, you're not only trying to attack them, their attack, their high zone, their mid zone, and their low zone at the same second. So when you learn chart 1 and chart 2 and you start to now put them together and mix and match them, oh my goodness. The fun that you can have with that with a partner and the workout that you'll get from that. Again, that's why we used to talk about this stuff, because letting everybody know the format in which we bow in, We do our calisthenics. We get good and stretched out. We start with chart one. We go to chart two. Um, Once chart one and chart two are done, we like to do it on kumite. We like to mix and match, what we just did in chart one and chart two. So sensei will call out, um, all right, this side's going to do the uppercut, but this side, instead of coming in with that big hook punch, let's get a straight on punch because nobody really, you know, unless they're a skilled fighter, will start a fight with, like a quick succession of jabs to high and low and mid because you can jab with your knees, you can jab with your feet, you can jab with your elbows, you can jab with your fists, you can jab with your shoulders. I mean, there's so many things you can jab with that, when you're trying to mix and match in those three zones based on what you're doing and your balance that's available for you to use in those three zones, you can come up with some wonderful combinations. Okay, so we like to do Ippon Kumite next. After Ippon Kumite, we like to fight. We like to get some of that fighting in now because we just worked our one steps and got our timing, working. Okay, and then we go into the fighting. After the fighting, we like to do empty hand kata. It sort of now brings everybody, um, because you just got done fighting. So now, I don't want to say it helps you because you got to really exert yourself in kata. Because now, when you do kata, you bring your heart rate again if you want to. They say that at Vena Sensei, he uses, so that's really getting it down. But after the empty hand kata session, we like to take out our weapons and bang sticks. It's just something that, helps you now. Um, you just did a full workout. So now working out now with the weapons and putting something in your hands sort of helps all the joints to, get re-lubricated again because you got a little bit of weight in your hand now. Okay. Um, After the Kobujitsu session, Sensei likes to get everybody to sit down and have question and answer session. What did you learn today? He'll ask, did you learn this? I see that you were working your stand transition. How did you feel? And he'll interject some of his observations into the conversation, but he likes to have a question and answer session. And that's basically what's in front of me here. That's the structure of the way Sensei McGrath ran his class, pretty much on a unless you were getting ready for something, like if you were working on, um, and a lot of times he didn't tell you. If you were going to get a promotion, a lot of times Sensei wouldn't tell you, but he would make suggestions. You need to work on, and he would tell you, got that, whatever. It was during those times that he would invite some of his black belts to come in, and they would come and work with you. Sensei Klaus was always one to be first on deck to, assist you in any way he could when it came to getting you ready. Um, we work with wooden sai for safety purposes. The black belts will work with the sai, but there's a certain degree of caution that's used with a live weapon, especially a sai. Sai is, you make a mistake with a sai and you can really, really, get hurt. So the closest hospital is probably 8 to 10 minutes from here. You can bleed out in 8 to 10 minutes. So we work with wooden sai most of the time when we're interacting with others. um, just for safety reasons. The Tampa, they're just a joy. Tampa's a joy. It's a joy to work with. It's a great tool, and there's so many things, so many striking surfaces. It's just a great tool. Sensei was big on teaching us about these katas because they all come from somewhere. They all have their origins. And again, if you want to know where you come from in order to know where you're going, you got to learn the origins of these. And he did his best, and so did Sensei Sloan in giving us a lot of the proper nomenclature. Um, when I got my student manual, the Tampakata was called Shepa. Now it's Hamahiga. And we didn't know that back in the day. But these guys, like I said, the senseis have done such a tremendous job in getting this stuff written out so that the young stuff could read it and understand it. It's really amazing. All right. Um, we've gone about the patch now, and Vincula Sensei has, and Sloan Sensei has given us the Isshinryu no Megami that's proper, that's approved, that you. This one, I don't know if you can see it. This one that's in the manual, we don't really wear that one anymore. I have it on some of my gis because I never took, I would never take the patch off. It's the patch that I wore all my life. But now, Vincula Sensei has us with his design. Not that this is not, this is his original design, but some of the senseis added stuff to the embroidery that they say is not 100% correct. So we really have phased this patch out, which really breaks my heart because it was the only patch that we ever really had. Um, but like again, the senseis have done such a great job in getting this stuff right now over the time that we've been practicing. Um, it's just a wonderful thing, to have all of these things that are right. For so many years I wore this patch and I was very proud to wear it, but it just happened to be that now the one that I have now, I have two, actually three. I have the one that Sensei Sloan made, which he gave to me when he came here from Okinawa. No, when he came here from Korea, actually. Um, and then I have two from Sensei Advincula. The one that has the red headdress, I think he made for 50 years. So I have two of them. I have the original one that he made, and it has just beautiful work. Um, and then I was also fortunate enough to get the one with the red headdress on it. Now, as of right now, when I practice, it's funny, I don't wear any patches right now on my geeks. And the reason for that is, over all the years I've been in Isshinryu Karate, I have acquired a lot of them. And I want to wear them all. But if I did, they would look at me and say, this guy with all these patches on. Was he a billboard? I mean, Sensei McGrath wore a globe and anchor on his back. A big one. It was a big globe and anchor embroidered right on his back. I mean, I don't know. So the only thing I wear is a headband that says Isshinryu Karate on it. That's it. And I take off my rings. I don't wear any jewelry on when I put on when I Yeah, that was one of Sensei McGrath's big things. No jewelry on the deck. That was a long time ago, but again, these people like Harold G. Long, Donald Unego, Steve Armstrong, Harold Mitchum, Arsenio James Advincula. These people set a standard for us. It's our job now to work to get to that standard, and then once we reach that standard and we practice that way and we go about our business that way, it's our job now to enhance that our way and become better individuals, become better fighters, better teachers, better practitioners, just better people. You apply some of these rules, regulations, some of the customs that exist, like the Kempo Gokui. Those are things that, when I read that when I was a little kid, I didn't know what it all meant. But because of these people, somehow or another we were able to learn what all that stuff meant and teach ourselves the importance of why we do some of the things that we do, why we are so insistent on trying to become better and better at what we do. Because when we're judged by others, that's really what tells the story. When you go to tournaments, Sensei didn't like tournament. He said tournament builds bad habits. And he exceptionally hated when um, somebody would score a point and all of that stuff. He hated that stuff. He really did. No respect, he used to say. Have respect for your opponent. In every one of our student manuals, we always make a copy of my current certificate, show it to the kids. This manual is an old one. We always show it to the kids. And they give an idea of what it takes to be, an instructor here at the school. We give everybody the same opportunity. We bring everybody along at their own pace. We don't criticize. Oh, well, why is this one learning faster than this one? You ain't doing your homework or whatever. No, it's not about that. It's more about building you up and getting you to do some of the things that. Oh, this is funny. We were talking about this just the other day with all the promotions that I've been through since August. I started with my girl, started dating my girl August 16, 1976. And just looking at some of these dates, when I made Shodan. Oh, I remember that test. That test was grueling. Let's take out the chart and we'll take a look at how we put the the class together and try to teach everybody in a way that they can learn and be comfortable. Again, this is. I'll take it out of the book a second. This is right out of Sloan Sensei's manual. Stuff that he gave us to practice. explains to us, karate do, karate jitsu, karate tasho, karate sport. Gives us a breakdown on, you know, all the different things that you can accomplish when you're in a martial art. This is the patch. This is the one that I have now. This one. See, this is the one with the black headdress. And then I got one from Sensei Edmund that has the red headdress on it. It's in here. It's a little bit later on in the book that explains some of the things. I wanted to get to the chart one because, this is a great picture. This is Tatsuo Shimabuku Sensei and my sensei when he came to the American Dojo in Queens. Sensei McGrath was heading up that dojo. It's a great picture. And then on the back is him with Tug McGraw. I don't know if you can see that, but Tug was an old Met. And Sensei loved the Mets when the Dodgers left, so became his team. Boy, you go through this thing and it's just history. It's just your history and all the things that you did. Another page here by Sloan Sensei that gives us some things to. There's a code of conduct, and there's 6 articles of the Isshinryu Karate Dojo, right out of Sloan Sensei's Karate USA manual, which again he gave me permission to use, his name in here because I wanted to keep it just the way he gave it to me and not change anything about it. So that the kids get to read this stuff. It says on here, smoking and drinking are prohibited while training. A simple little thing like that. And he talks about that people would, I don't know why people would smoke, but drinking, you're going to be drunk on the deck. Okay. Terminology right out of Sloan Sensei's his book, his manual. And this is what I was talking about, the white belt forms, appreciation form. He gave us so many things, and just the way he goes about breaking it all down is just, he's amazing. The man is amazing. And it helps us tremendously because it's a great workout tool, you know what I mean? It's a great way for you to get ready for street fighting. It's very real. The kumites that the sensei broke down for us to do are very real. And quite interesting, by the way. Quite interesting. I was looking at this here the other day about, the idea of putting together your own routines and doing, maybe building a kata on your own, building a self-defense routine on your own. We're reading some of these notes and some of the student manuals. Again, just reminds me of how much dedication it really takes to go over all this stuff and learn it. There's a signed picture of Sensei Nagel and Sensei McGrath, that famous Shodan test. That's a nice picture right there. Yeah, that's a nice picture. It's Don Nagel and Ed McGrath. Ed McGrath's a brown belt there. This is another nice picture of when we used to take Greg up to Frank Black's dojo. Look at the nose. Look at the nose on Tom Matt. He's got blood all over his gi. Oh God, those guys are crazy. This is a great martial artist here, my buddy Jerry Figiani. Happy Easter, Jerry, brother. His brother Figiani right there. Yeah, I grew up with him. He always said to me, you remember when you was going to karate? I was going to karate. Who knew these people were? This is a drawing by Greg Melita, which became the IIAOKA emblem, identification marker. Another drawing by Greg that we use in our dojo. Greg has a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school or studio out in Southampton, Long Island. And the work that he's doing out there, folks, is just incredible. Working with the kids. So chart one, all of the first 15 are exactly the same to what everybody else practices. But the number 16 that we added for Sensei Nagels is step up, down block, groin punch, step up and punch. So, you know, that's the list. That's the list. That's the list that everybody practices. And then chart two, all the kicks, which again, Sloan Sensei wrote up a wonderful depiction of what that is and how that gets done. These were some drawings that we had made to adjust, because somebody made a comment. I was wearing a Don Nagel's Isshinryu Karate Association patch, and they said that the thumb wasn't on top, so we adjusted the drawing and had patches made with the thumb on top. Some people are so it's not the old patch. If you look at it, the thumb is more like this than it is this, okay? But to me, I thought it depicted the thumb on top pretty well, but there's always that one smart aleck that has something to say, so we fixed it. And then this we made, our dojo had made our own Isshinryu Nomagami based off of this drawing. And that is actually my fist and my knuckles. Just like Sensei Isshinryu did. I made that for our dojo. Oh God. The letter is from Don Nagel to the Isshinryu Hall of Fame, requesting that Mr. McGrath be inducted into the Isshinryu Hall of Fame. And oddly enough, he mentions my name in the letter, along with Barry Steinberg, Richie Bell, Nick Adba, Bobby Baker, Don Nagel was a 10-10. He signs it Don Nagel 10-10. Wrote the letter June 1993. We have a letter here from Grandmaster Toby Coolings, the Order of Isshinryu. Also requesting induction into the Isshinryu Hall of Fame. This is the one from Don Nagel. It's a 2-page letter. I don't know if you can see it. It says some wonderful things in there. So, original manual. My goodness. It's an original student manual from when I started. These are the, can you see that? That's how they spelled the katas. Andy's probably cringing. That's not how you spell that. I know, Andy. I know. A lot of the stuff here, the terminology, the way they spell it, and the way Andy spells it, it's in my original manual, it's wrong. This is the meaning of the essence patch, the actual write-up in the essence patch. They have it online. John Pinguero made a site for Sensei on Facebook that tells the meaning of the essence patch. And that was drawn by Louis Lasseri in 1972. The drawing I have from him, 1972. The katas, folks, there's a lot to be said and learned about the katas in Isshinryu. Don't think that, like for instance, I've been doing Seisan all my life. Don't think for a second that you know the kata. You're learning it, but don't think for a second that you really know. Oh, I know the kata. Yeah. Well, you listen to some of the other sensei, and if you're honest and true with yourself, how much do you really know the kata? You know what I mean? Yeah, you practice it, and yeah, you can do it and teach it, and work it. But there's so much to learn in the kata. This is another something that we celebrate with the students. The Kempo Gokui is something that was introduced to me at a very early age. And again, like I said before, I had no idea what they were talking about. All right? And this is, I think, the original drawing from Sensei. But the Kempo Gokui is something that we really have to take and put into our practice and learn how to apply it in our practice. That's the whole idea of trying to learn and document what these wonderful individuals brought to us from Okinawa and what the founder made for us to practice. Well, everybody enjoy your Easter. They're up in there to come inside and see my grandson's face. The Easter Bunny came. So I'm going to do that and then help cook. We're having a feast today. My wife is in there. She's with her children and grandchildren, and she's just loving life. But everybody stay safe. I know it's not easy. But these little videos that we make, ways of us communicating and going through some of the things that we've experienced. Who knows? Maybe a kid will turn on the video and say, "Wow, I wish I had a student manual that looked like that." Um, we're very proud of our student manuals here because it's a living, breathing document. It follows you and you follow it. And then it's a reflection. It's a way for you to look back and see some of the people you met and the friendships you made and the workouts you went to. And that's a great thing, you know. Um, Sensei's not here no more, so I look to people that I know and trust, and I learn from them. Uh, I learn from the way they are doing it now, and I really like what I say. Sensei McGrath would be very pleased with how people are handling Isshinryu right now. Even in these difficult times, everybody's using their tools and making their classes and um, doing their katas and everything. And that is a wonderful thing. So out of the worst situation, we've managed to pull some positive energy um, and add light to a very dark situation because it's been a while now. I've been going to work every day over the time that this has all been happening. I got a letter from my boss saying I'm essential, that I have to go. I just have to go to work. There are things that we do in our business to make it safe for all of you. And again, very proud of that work. But the precautions that I have to take every day to go out, um, believe it or not, are normal for us on construction sites. We have to wear gloves in construction. We have to protect our breathing from all the dust. We work in dusty environments. Um, and the clothing that we wear is also based on our work. So for us, it's nothing new, you know. I think that's them. Yeah. So for us, it's nothing new. I mean, for us to have something on our face or on our eyes or on our ears, on our head, on our hands, on our feet, there's nothing new. The only thing that I have adjusted is what I touch. I haven't touched any money. In other words, I haven't touched any bills or any coins from outside this house since this all started. Because if there's any way I'm going to get it, is by touching the money. If you're sick and you touch that money and now I touch it, I'm going to get sick. That's the way I see it. So I haven't touched any money. On my job, we use 70% isopropyl alcohol when we test concrete to do our what they call a chase meter test for air content. So I've been taught at a very early age, you want to kill germs on your hands or even on your body, you use 70% isopropyl alcohol. So for me, these old hands are always touching something that has to do with testing. But thank God they're all my tools. I don't touch anybody else's tools. So I haven't gotten sick, knock wood. I haven't gotten sick. And I've been out every day. And yes, I have been taking certain precautions. Like I said, I won't eat out right now. I won't go to a store and get food. The only place I get food from is the supermarket. And when I go in the supermarket, I'm real careful. I go in there, I touch the things I want, which is mostly produce. That's what I buy. Um, and I try my best to limit what I touch. I guess that's how I've stayed safe now for this whole time. My family it works in the food industry and whatnot, and but my daughter Catherine's bouncing off the walls. Um, but they're adhering to what the scientists have told us, and they have stayed home. Um, I've gone to work every day, and I have, by the grace of God, not gotten sick. Um, it was my birthday yesterday. I turned 61, so we had a wonderful day yesterday. Plus, I got to see my grandson Luca ride his two-wheeler now. No help. He stops by going up the driveway and going on the grass. That's how he stops, or he falls down. That's how it works right now. But I asked him, I said, Luca, you not stop? Yeah, Papa, I go on the grass. So anyway, I got to see my grandson um, ride his bike without no training wheels, all by himself. And the look on the face when he's going down the block at about 40 miles an hour. Oh my God. They put a helmet on him. He won't put anything on his hands, but his mother said, no, you're going that fast, you gotta have a helmet on. But he's all cut up. My grandson is going to be one of those kids that, like, when he falls and gets hurt, he's just going to get up and say, okay. I love him. He's unbelievable. So, yeah, it was my birthday yesterday. We celebrated 61. I'm 61 now. Still doing martial arts. Still working in martial arts field. And trying very hard to, work as a skilled professional in the field. And got a glowing review from my boss this year. So I'm very happy about that. And it's Easter Sunday, man. We have so much to be thankful for. I know it's tough out there. But if you focus on the negative, you'll just... No. I focus on the positive. You give me a situation, okay, I can't touch nothing. All right. No problem. I go out every day. I won't touch nothing, Mom. Don't worry about it. I won't come home with nothing either. And we're very positive. We're very thankful that we have all that we have. As you can see, I'm wearing a Carolina Isshinryu Karate Academy jacket, which was made for me by Sensei Dean Scott and his team. They put Sensei on it for me. Wonderful. What a wonderful fellowship we have down here in Isshinryu Karate. Everybody's very, very willing to work out with one another. There's no egos. I mean, everybody's got an ego, but they all check that. Oh, I almost said a bad word. Check that stuff at the door. And they're all willing to work out and share and care. Yeah, Sensei would be very... Well, I call this Bohan territory down here anyway. Sensei Bohan was from down here. So if you knew anything about Sensei Bohan, he wouldn't stand for any disrespect from the boat. So, yeah, I miss those guys. They were inspiring. When you were around them, they were inspiring. They go, just, man, there's all that stuff. Just call me Don. And just colorful people, real mentors, if you will. Real people to look up to. aspire to be like, I should say, aspire to be like, say, I can't wait till we go back to doing that workout. We get Ronnie in here, got a new white belt. He's coming along, Ronnie. Now with this stuff going on, he's going crazy too. Got some issues he's working on, trying to get healthy. Yeah, it's a wonderful fellowship down here when it comes to martial arts. Everybody opens their dojo. They have us all in. We all get a little something to do and work on. We bring our students. I like it. I like it very much. I think it's very healthy. And I know if the founder were here and we're able to recognize this and see this, and man, he would say to himself, my goodness. I mean, you go to any part of the world now. I mean, Vena Sensei he goes all over the place. He sees people that practice Isshinryu all over the place. The founder was to see that, which I think he does it from a spiritual perspective. It would be astounding. Like I said, it's astounding to me because I know when I started in Isshinryu Karate, no one even knew what it was. But now that patch that I showed before is pretty well recognized globally. So, all right, folks, I'm going to go inside. Enjoy. Have yourself a great Easter. Stay safe. Give your family a hug. Give your friends a hug when you're allowed. Who knows if that'll ever come to pass again? Will we ever be allowed to hug one another? What the hell's going on here? Happy holidays, everybody. We'll see you.